I heard that Top Gun 3 is going to be made, so I wanted to throw this story idea out to Tom Cruise and the whole gang over at Hollywood. So it stars Glenn Powell and Miles Teller. They're the main actors. They're the 1-2, and Tom Cruise, his name will be the biggest, of course, on the poster. So what happens is Top Gun, the school is shut down, and Goose, Miles Teller's character, Goose 2, and Hangman, they're out of jobs. And so it gets shut down in 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes. The next 10 minutes, Goose 2 and Hangman are trying to find new jobs. They're car washing together. They're doing delivery service, working for Amazon together. They're trying to outdo each other, like who can clean the fastest car, who can drive the fastest package, wherever it is. They even try baking cookies. Anyways, ha ha ha. They see that there's an opening for the Blue Angels type of air show in Miami. They think, hey, why don't we check it out? There's only one spot available, so they have this cross-country cannonball run type of thing to get there. Okay, they get there and it's a tie, so they both apply for it because they're best buds now, and they both get hired. Okay, here's the twist. They do their first event as new, show fighter pilots doing the Blue Angel stuff, and the company is actually owned by these Chinese terrorists who are robbing their own banks to get not only the insurance money, but to get the money, okay? And who's the mastermind behind this? Hopper from Stranger Things. That's right, David Harbour. He's the true villain, okay? They conduct the air show. It's a real big hit. Everybody shakes their hand, and then David Harbour shows up and says, hey, thanks a lot, guys. You just made us $30 million. And they're like, what are you talking about? Don't you know you're unwilling accomplices in this big bank robbery heist we just did for this Chinese syndicate? And they're like, oh my God, and there's no way to get out. And the whole time, that first 30 minutes, Mav is keeping tabs on Goose 2 and Hangman, saying, hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Hey, that drive across country got a lot of attention on the TV. Man, I wouldn't have done that. I would have taken the train. Okay, so let's see here. So to get the guys to continue to go along, they hold this hostage Hangman, okay? And so Goose 2 has to do the job, all right? He's got to play along, and he's got to keep doing these air show type of things, where they're stealing more money and more money all up and down the Florida coast, okay? At some point, Maverick's watching on TV, watching the air show, and it's like, that's not how you're supposed to be doing that maneuver. So he flies down there to say, hey guys, you're doing it all wrong. He gets there, and Miles finds out the truth. Miles tells Maverick the truth that they've got Hangman. They're holding us. He's holding them hostage, and there's nothing we can do. We have to keep doing this. And Maverick's like, I got a plan. It's at this point that the bad guys all surround him. Okay, so it's a twist inside a twist inside a twist. They bring Hangman back to the hangar, and they put Goose 2 in chains in an undisclosed location. And now it's Hangman and Maverick who have to, and David Harbour, they all have to go through this one big score, okay? And they do the event, and Maverick's smarter than the average pilot. He stages his own death by crashing into Hangman's jet, which causes Maverick to crash. And so then the heist still goes as planned. They think Maverick's dead, but Maverick's not dead. Maverick crash lands safely, and then he goes to break Goose 2 out of the undisclosed prison. How they figure that out? Mystery. Okay, so what's the last act here? Let's see here. It takes place in Miami, okay? Maverick's got Goose 2, and they get 2 other fighter jets, maybe some old prop planes or something, or old, there's a air fighter jet museum somewhere in Florida. They get those, and they're following Hopper and Hangman as they're being chased by the police after the big job that they just did. And all of a sudden, there's a Navy destroyer and a Navy aircraft carrier also off Miami. So there's this big chase to Cuba, because where do you go when you steal a lot of money? You go to Cuba. All right. And so Hangman and Hopper, they're so much better than any of these other fighter pilots, and the missiles are getting launched from the destroyers, and they can't catch them. But what's this coming out of nowhere? It's Goose 2 and it's Maverick. And so there's this big dogfight, and what the heroes don't know is that Hopper has Hangman's family as insurance. So Hangman is trying to block Maverick and Goose 2's missiles and flight path in order to let Hopper get away. And the radios, they're yelling like, "What are you doing? We got to stop him." He goes, "I can't. They've got my family." Oh my God. We're not going to Fast and Furious, right? I assure you. Okay, so Maverick busts through. He shoots down Hangman safely into the water, and then it's just Maverick and this old, Vietnam era. We'll do a Vietnam, or maybe we'll even do a Korean War jet, and it's Hopper and his jet, and they're flying over Cuba, over Havana, and all of a sudden, what does he do? What? Fly right by, hit the brakes and fly right by, right? So he does that, okay? But Miles Teller is there too, and they get caught in the jet wash, and Goose 2 crash lands into the water, and Mav's like, "Oh my God," all right? But he hits the brakes, and Hopper's plane gets into the jet wash too, and then he crashes. Okay, so so Maverick's the only one that has to eject out. So he's fallen to safety. They go in the water, and he gets Goose 2, and he gets him to shore. And wow, we did it. We saved him. Oh no, the shadow behind him on the beach. Who is it? It's Hopper. A quick 1-2 punch fight. Hopper goes down, and Maverick saves the day. And all of a sudden, here comes the choppers from the destroyer or the aircraft carrier, and everyone's saved. And that's it. Top Gun 3. What are we going to call it? We're either going to call it Top Gun 3, or Top Gun, Maverick 3, Goose 2, Hangman, Jet Wash. I think that's what we'll call it. All right, there you go.